Your brain is getting hijacked. Not with drugs. Not with alcohol. Not with some underground weapon. With dopamine. And the scariest part? You're not being forced. You're volunteering. Every single day. Let me ask you something. Have you ever opened your phone for just 1 minute, and looked up and realized 40 minutes disappeared? Have you ever finished scrolling and felt absolutely nothing? No joy. No satisfaction. Just emptiness. And then you scroll again anyway. Have you ever sat with real life in front of you, and still felt bored? As if reality itself is too slow? If that's you, this video is going to feel personal. Because what you're experiencing isn't low motivation. It's not laziness. It's not lack of discipline. It's something much darker. Your reward system is being trained. And the trainer is artificial intelligence. This is AfterHuman. And today we're talking about the most underrated threat of the AI era. Not job loss. Not robots. Not deepfakes. The war for your dopamine. The war for your attention. Because if someone controls your attention, they control your life. And AI has become the best attention thief in human history. Now I want you to imagine 3 people. 3 normal lives. 3 different worlds. And the same invisible poison inside all of them. The first person is a teenager. Let's call him Arjun. Arjun wakes up and the first thing he does is check his phone. Not because he has something important. Because his brain is thirsty. Like it didn't sleep. Like it woke up hungry. He opens Instagram. He opens YouTube. He opens short videos. 1 clip. Then another. Then another. And now his brain is awake. His heart rate is up. His mood is shifting. His mind is not calm. His mind is scanning. And without realizing it, Arjun has already consumed more stimulation in 8 minutes than humans used to experience in an entire day. Now he goes to school. A teacher is talking. But the teacher is slow. The teacher is human. The teacher doesn't change topics every 0.8 seconds. So Arjun's brain drifts. It feels painful to pay attention. Not because he's dumb, but because his brain was trained on speed. He can't tolerate silence. He can't tolerate boredom. He can't tolerate normal. His phone trained him to expect constant reward. Constant novelty. Constant dopamine. So now school feels like torture. Real conversation feels like torture. Reading feels impossible. Even movies feel slow. His brain wants the next hit. And if you think this is just teen behavior, wait. Because the second person is not a teenager. The second person is a working adult. Let's call her Sarah. Sarah has a good job. A stable routine. On the outside, everything is fine. But inside, her mind is scattered. She wakes up tired even after sleep. She checks messages before brushing her teeth. She scrolls while eating. She scrolls while walking. She scrolls during meetings. Not because she's addicted, but because her brain is anxious without stimulation. Then at night she finally gets time. This is where she could rest. This is where she could breathe. But her brain doesn't want peace. It wants relief. So she opens the apps again. She watches content that makes her feel something. Anger. Fear. Desire. Outrage. Validation. And for a moment, she feels alive. Then she closes the phone. And suddenly life feels empty. Not because life is empty. Because her dopamine system is out of balance. So she opens it again. 1 more scroll. 1 more clip. 1 more just 5 minutes. And just like that, Sarah has lost another night. Not because she wasted time. Because her brain was engineered to stay engaged. Now the third person. The third person is older. Let's call him David. David isn't a social media addict. He doesn't care about trends. He thinks he's safe. But David spends hours watching news clips. Political clips. Fear clips. Crisis clips. Every day it's something new. New danger. New outrage. New threat. His brain is constantly in survival mode. And here's what David doesn't realize. AI is not only feeding him information. It's feeding him emotion. It knows what keeps him watching. It knows what scares him. It knows what makes him angry. It knows what makes him comment. It knows what makes him share. And slowly, David stops feeling calm in normal life. He becomes suspicious, reactive, always on edge. Not because the world is actually worse every day, but because the feed is designed to feel like it is. So now we have 3 people. Arjun, Sarah, and David. 3 different lives. 1 shared outcome. Their attention is no longer theirs. And attention is not a small thing. Attention is your steering wheel. Whatever you pay attention to, you become. If you pay attention to fear, you become anxious. If you pay attention to lust, you become distracted. If you pay attention to outrage, you become bitter. If you pay attention to comfort, you become weak. And the algorithm doesn't care who you become. It only cares that you stay. Because the longer you stay, the more you consume. The more you consume, the more you click. The more you click, the more money is generated. So let's call it what it is. This is not entertainment. This is extraction. AI doesn't need to steal your wallet directly. It can steal your time first. Then your focus. Then your energy. Then your ambition. Then your relationships. Then your future. And you won't even notice when it happens. Because it will feel like your choice. Now here's what makes this uniquely dangerous. Dopamine is not happiness. Dopamine is anticipation. It's the feeling of next. Next video. Next message. Next notification. Next reward. So when your brain is trained on constant next, you stop being able to enjoy now. You stop enjoying meals. You stop enjoying walks. You stop enjoying quiet. You stop enjoying people. You stop enjoying yourself. Because real life doesn't refresh every second. Real life doesn't autoplay. Real life doesn't customize itself around your preferences. Real life is effort. Real life has silence. Real life is boredom. And boredom used to be a gift. Boredom used to create creativity. Boredom used to create reflection. Boredom used to create hunger to build something. But now boredom feels like pain. Because AI dopamine taught you that boredom should be avoided. That the moment you feel empty, you should fill it. That the moment you feel anxious, you should scroll. That the moment you feel lonely, you should consume. And that's how people lose themselves. They don't collapse in one day. They dissolve. A little bit every day. Now I want you to understand the real mechanism. Your brain learns through reward. You take an action. You get a reward. You repeat the action. That's not new. That's biology. But AI amplified it. Because now the reward is personalized. The feed isn't random anymore. It adapts to you. It watches what makes you pause. It watches what makes your eyes stay. It watches what makes your thumb stop. It watches what makes you react. And then it gives you more of it. Not to help you. To hook you. So you're no longer fighting against your willpower. You're fighting against a machine trained on millions of human minds. A machine that learns faster than you. A machine that never gets tired. A machine that can test your weaknesses infinitely. And that machine lives inside your pocket. Now let's go darker. Because dopamine hijacking isn't only about wasting time. It changes what kind of human you become. When you live inside constant stimulation, your brain starts rejecting effort. Deep work feels painful. Delayed rewards feel pointless. Long-term goals feel boring. Real relationships feel too slow. Because humans require patience. Humans require listening. Humans require presence. And presence is impossible when your brain expects constant reward. So people start doing something dangerous. They replace real life with a simulation. Not VR. Not some sci-fi world. A simulation made of endless content. Endless opinions. Endless drama. Endless comfort. Endless escape. And here's the part most people won't admit. The feed doesn't just entertain you. It shapes your personality. It turns calm people into reactive people. It turns focused people into distracted people. It turns confident people into insecure people. Because it constantly shows you what you don't have. and constantly reminds you that somewhere else, someone is living a better life. Then you feel less. So you scroll more. Then you feel less. So you scroll more. That's the loop. Now imagine where this goes next. 2026 is not just more content. It's content that talks back. AI content that adapts. AI that becomes your companion. Your coach. Your comfort. Your therapist. Your late night voice. AI doesn't just show you what to watch. It interacts. It responds. It seduces. It knows how to keep you emotionally attached. Because emotional attachment is the strongest form of engagement. So the next stage isn't addiction to videos. It's addiction to connection that isn't real. You'll have people who can't sleep without an AI voice. People who can't make decisions without asking an AI first. People who can't tolerate silence because silence feels like death. And the scariest part? They won't look broken. They'll look normal. They'll look productive. They'll still go to work. Still function. Still smile. But inside, they will be empty. Because their dopamine belongs to the machine. Now let's flip the lens for a second. Why does this matter to power? Because a distracted population is easy to control. A distracted person doesn't organize. A distracted person doesn't build. A distracted person doesn't resist. A distracted person doesn't create. A distracted person consumes. And consumption is the easiest human state to manage. So when you hear attention economy, understand what it really means. It means your attention is being mined like oil. And AI is the drill. Now you might be thinking, okay, so what do I do? Do I delete everything? Do I become a monk? No. That's not realistic. This isn't about quitting technology. This is about reclaiming agency. Because the difference between a human and a machine is choice. A machine follows programming. A human can change their programming. But only if they notice it. Only if they wake up. Only if they stop calling it normal. So here's the simplest truth. If you can't control your attention, you can't control your life. And if you can't control your life, something else will. Maybe an algorithm. Maybe a platform. Maybe a system. Maybe your own impulses. But it won't be you. Now listen carefully. The dopamine war is not fought with violence. It's fought with convenience. With entertainment. With easy reward. That's why it's so hard to escape. Because it doesn't feel like an attack. It feels like comfort. But comfort can be a cage. A beautiful cage. A cage you walk into willingly. Every single day. And the final question is this. If your attention can be hijacked. If your desires can be trained. If your emotions can be triggered on command. Then what part of your mind is actually yours anymore? And if AI can shape your life without touching you, what does freedom even mean? Subscribe to AfterHuman. Because this war won't be fought in public. It will be fought inside you.